Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. The big day. It's finally here. It is the day of the Super Bowl. I'm your host, Jake McVey, as excited as ever, joined by my co-host, Matt Galgano. Matt, how are you feeling today?
I'm absolutely pumped for the Super Bowl today. I cannot lie. I feel like just in my gut, I know it's going to be a great game today.
Oh, man, it's going to be absolute fireworks. But we're not talking about the Super Bowl right now. We have something not as important, but still important to discuss.
Yes.
And that is the NFL Honors happened the other night, last Thursday. And I kind of like how it went. I kind of also don't like how it went.
I'm in the same boat. I like some picks. I don't like other picks. A bit of a pick I have a bit of a grievance with is the MVP pick.
Really?
I do not like Josh Allen as the MVP, honestly.
Oh, I see. You just don't think that we should be giving it to the most valuable player.
Well, the thing is that, okay, I get it. In what world are we living in where Lamar Jackson can win first team All-Pro, which means he's the best quarterback in the league and not win MVP?
Look, I think that's a perfectly fine argument to make. I think that just shows inconsistency on the part of the voters. My answer to that is Lamar Jackson shouldn't have been All-Pro in the first place. Josh Allen should have been.
You really think that? How?
Have you watched the guy?
Yeah, he was okay. And the one time they played the Ravens...
Oh, my God.
The one time they played the Ravens, Allen looked completely muffled. He couldn't do anything, and Lamar played great. I feel like Josh's best game is kind of just a everyday performance for Lamar, honestly.
We keep on overrating these head-to-head performances so much, and honestly, I'm sick of it. Yeah, Allen had an all-right game against the Ravens, and Lamar had a good one. I don't think that should be the determining factor on who wins MVP. Let's look at it from a whole season standpoint. Look at the kind of help that Lamar had on his team and on his defense, and look at the kind of help that Allen had. Lamar has the better running back, he has the better wide receivers, he has the better tight end, he has the better defense, and he has the better coach. And Allen still managed to put up comparable numbers.
Yes, but I also think that Allen has a bit of an underrated skill position group at his dismay.
He does.
He has Dalton. I was gonna say Connect. Dalton Kincaid, who's a pretty talented tight end. He has Khalil Shakir, who's pretty talented at wide receiver. He has James Cook, who is a top 5 back in the league.
He is.
So, and he has I say he has a better offensive line than Lamar does.
Okay, I can give you, I'm not 100% sure on that. I got to study up on my tape on the Buffalo Bills offensive line from this season, but I'll give you that. Even then, it's comparable from like 6 position groups to 1. And honestly, it's not just about the best stats, and we've known that. It's not just about who's the best player on the best team, and it's not about who has the best stats. It's about who elevated their team's ceiling the highest, and I think Allen did that. Does Lamar Jackson increase the ceiling of the Ravens by a monstrous amount? Absolutely. Does Josh Allen raise it higher? Yes, he does.
But I also just think if you look at the stats, it's pretty clear. I mean, the only thing that Josh Allen led the league in is ESPN's QBR rate, and Lamar wasn't far behind it, but Lamar led the league in passer rating with 119.6. He had 8.8 yards per attempt, which led the league. 10.15 yards per carry, which also led the league. He led the league in so many other stats than Allen did.
You're throwing around more numbers than I feel comfortable with. I haven't taken a math class in 3 years, and it shows.
So you're taking the eye test into it.
I'm taking the eye test into it, man. Just watch the both of them play. Lamar is fun. He's electric. Josh Allen's play wins you a football game. The football team, the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson can have a bad game, and this team can still pull out a victory. If Josh Allen has a bad game, that team is losing 100% of the time.
I agree with you, but I just think in the numbers that Lamar was just playing a better quarterback this season, and I feel like this quarterback is more of the voters going, you know what, let's give it to Josh because he hasn't won one yet. In a perfect world, Lamar would have won it, but voter fatigue is a real thing. I don't like it influencing the NFL. This to me just feels like Joel Embiid's MVP a couple of years ago.
This whole voter fatigue argument is just being used to discredit so many players having a great season. It's like there needs to be some grand conspiracy that Lamar Jackson got robbed, when really the truth of the matter is, if you combine Josh Allen's efficiency and the way that the Bills play when he is being successful versus not being successful, it's a landslide any day of the week. Josh Allen is that team. He is that offense, and he got them. He got them the second best record in the AFC, but right behind Kansas City. I mean, it was an absurdly good season out of Allen, surrounded by pieces. Which, let's be honest, if they weren't having Allen throw them the ball, they would probably be playing in Canada by this time next year.
I just don't like the voters feeling like they have to give this one to Allen. I mean, Allen is going to be playing well for several years after this point. He's going to have plenty of chances to win it. Why not just let Lamar cement his legacy as one of the best quarterbacks of this generation?
The voters probably gave this award felt like they had to give this award to Allen because they watched Allen play and they said, oh my God, how can I not give this guy that award? Are you serious, man?
Yeah, but if you look at any statistics that make sense, that adds to the team, Lamar is just a better passer, he's a better runner, and he's just a better quarterback this season than Allen was.
And that is so much easier to do when you have an all-star cast around you.
Yeah. We might just have to disagree on this one. I really am steadfast in this argument about Lamar.
I just can't help but think you're wrong. But you know what? I will give Lamar this, though. Lamar is definitely higher on the all-time ranking as compared to Allen right now.
I mean, 2 MVPs is a lot for you.
Did you know that Josh Allen has never made an all-pro team before?
Yeah, I actually did not know that. Lamar has made 3, including this year, which means he should have won the MVP. But Lamar is paving his way to be, of this generation of quarterbacks, he's definitely second right now, not below Mahomes, and I would say it's the top 4 is Mahomes of this generation, Lamar, Allen, Burrow. I would say that is the big 4 right now. And then you're going to have your bunch of stat padding guys like Justin Herbert in there too.
Jared Goff. Can't forget, big stat patter.
Yeah, but
Jared Goff's a stat patter.
Okay. I wouldn't put him up there though.
I wouldn't put him up there. I mean, actually, he does have 2 Super Bowl appearances. No, he has one. He only has one. I'm sorry.
He only has one, and I just don't think that the Lions can count on Goff as much as a team can count on someone like Lamar or Mahomes or Allen.
No, absolutely. I completely agree with you on that front.
I think the top 4 of this generation, though, has to be Burrow. And Burrow, he has a Super Bowl appearance, and he has played consistently great in his time in Cincinnati, and there's no reason to think that he'll ever be out of Cincinnati in the next 10 years.
Multiple-time comeback player of the year,
multiple-time comeback player of the year. It counts for something.
It's big for the legacy.
It counts for something.
Not really. I don't think it's big for the legacy, but we're going to be talking about Joe Burrow here soon.
But
Cincinnati Bengals fans, look away.
Even a Mickey Mouse MVP for Josh Allen puts him above Burrow.
MVP.
Even a Mickey Mouse MVP puts him above Burrow. Because the Super Bowl appearance, I mean, it's just a Super Bowl appearance. I mean, if he won it, then if Joe Burrow won that Super Bowl against LA, would you say that that he would be above Allen?
Yes, I would. Yeah. I would. I think at this point, all a young quarterback needs is a Super Bowl under their belt to be the next top dog under Mahomes. I think Lamar's position as the second best quarterback of this generation is incredibly unstable. I think as soon as one of those younger guys breaks through and gets to the bowl, I think realistically in the next couple of years, if he gets an all-pro nod under his belt and a Super Bowl ring, in 2 years, I think C.J. Stroud can be better than Lamar Jackson.
No,
I think anybody can right now. I think anybody can right now.
I have more faith in someone like Jaden Daniels to enter himself into that conversation.
Yeah, I could see it being Daniels, but there's a lot of young guys that that are right on the cusp. If they just get a Super Bowl under their belt or they just get an MVP under their belt, they could definitely be hanging in this conversation. I mean, Allen's place as number 3 is not safe right now.
No, definitely.
Realistically, if Hurts comes away with this Super Bowl win, I think he's better than Allen all time.
Yeah, I actually do agree with that. I think Hurts is definitely, of this generation, I would say he's top 10, even though his play hasn't really mirrored that. The Eagles have just been so successful, and the quarterback, in respect to the quarterback position, is probably the most important role on the field to play.
I mean, personally, I'm honestly very reluctant to place Jalen Hurts anywhere.
Yeah.
Just because I think he is so polarizing, where he did have a season where he was second in MVP voting. I didn't forget that. I didn't forget that incredible season that Hurts put up in 2022, where he was putting up big numbers and he looked good, and Philadelphia was rolling teams like it was nobody's business. But he hasn't looked good these last couple of years, and I think that makes him a very decisive player. Where I kind of don't know how to feel about him.
Okay. Would you say that someone like Jaden Daniels is already above a quarterback like Goff?
Absolutely not.
You don't
No.
think so?
Are you kidding me? A Super Bowl appearance, and Jared Goff has been like a top 3 quarterback in the NFC the last 2 years.
Yeah, I guess.
As much
I would
as
say
love
Jaden Daniels was a top 3 quarterback this year.
I think Jaden Daniels was the best quarterback in the NFC, but we're not ready for that conversation.
Yeah, I do agree with that, though.
I mean, Rook's coming in and tearing it up, man.
Yeah.
It's like a chessboard. Can't stop the Rook.
A lot of the big QBs, though, are in the AFC.
Yeah.
The NFC has a lot of young QBs that have potential, like Caleb Williams, like Bryce
Young, yeah. Don't forget him.
Jordan Love has potential, too.
Jordan Love does have potential.
Yeah.
I believe in Jordan.
But he's kind of a 7-seed merchant, you know.
Sam Darnold is 25. He's still young. He's still got plenty of time to play.
Yeah, but he proved himself. He played himself out of so much money towards the end of the season.
Yeah, he did. He definitely played him. But you know what? I could totally see another team giving Sam Darnold an opportunity. Look, the Raiders kind of strike out in the draft. Go out and get Sam Darnold. Why not?
Yeah, I could see the Raiders being a potential landing spot for Darnold.
The Saints could pick up Sam Darnold. There are plenty of teams right now that could use a guy like Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
The Giants could use a guy like Sam Darnold.
Yeah, the Giants, they need to draft a quarterback.
I think they do too, but they're a little lower in the draft than those other teams. I mean, realistically, Cam and Shador are the big 2 quarterbacks in this draft. I think if you don't get either of those guys, you just go for another position group at that point.
Yeah, but what is your top 5 quarterbacks of the generation? What would you say?
All right, so let's just get this out of the way. Mahomes is 1 because Mahomes is actually the 2nd greatest quarterback of all time.
Okay, I agree with that.
Behind, Tom.
The one and only.
Yeah, the one. It goes without saying. But then behind him, I would probably give the nod to Lamar just because he has so many accolades under his belt already in such a young career. I think once he gets that Super Bowl ring, it's gonna change a lot of people's minds about him. I know he's a very disrespected quarterback in the game right now, but I got Lamar at number 2. Then at number 3, I got Allen. Honestly, Allen was just pure talent. Again, he's never secured an All-Pro, but then I got Joe Burrow, and then honestly, Jalen Hurts. I think the Super Bowl appearances are enough.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised no Herbert in that list. Why not?
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I really like Herbert. I really like Justin Herbert. I think he's incredibly talented, but I just don't think he's done enough. I mean, his postseason appearances have been terrible.
Yeah, he probably does have one of the worst playoff performances in the recent history of the NFL. But I just think his personal accolades, not that he has any awards or anything, but just his pure play on the field, he's got to be in there.
No, he doesn't. I don't think he has to be in there. Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing. Great quarterbacks rise to great occasions. And we've seen all of the quarterbacks in the big moment arise. Jalen Hurts had one of the best performances of his entire career in the Super Bowl, in his first Super Bowl appearance. Lamar Jackson, not the greatest playoff performer, but he definitely shows up in big games. He's there to play. Yeah. Allen shows up in big games. Burrow and Mahomes show up in big games. And Justin Herbert seems to do nothing but shrink. I think I would sooner put Trevor Lawrence in that conversation.
No way.
Yes.
No.
What has Herbert done? What has Herbert done that is more meaningful than what Trevor Lawrence accomplished with that comeback?
Played remotely well in the last 2 years.
Oh, come on.
Trevor Lawrence has played awful.
Yeah, and he still has a much more impressive postseason performance than Justin Herbert under his belt.
I agree with that. I'm definitely not disagreeing with that, but just personally, in terms of personal performance, Trevor Lawrence has not done enough. In that game you're talking about, he threw 4 interceptions, and really it was a Brandon Staley choke masterclass rather than an epic Trevor Lawrence comeback.
Yeah, but Trevor still definitely pulled his weight. The 4 picks were bad, but it's not like he was a slouch the rest of that game. He made good throws. He made the right plays. He did what he needed to do to win. If it were easy to win a playoff game, Justin Herbert probably would have won one by now. But it's not easy to do, and not every quarterback can get it done. And Herbert has not shown me anything to believe that he can get it done. He had the best team, He had the best all-around team. He had the worst receiving core of his career, I think, so far.
This year, 100%.
But I think he had the best team around him. I think the coaching was significantly better. I think the running game was significantly better. I think the defense was significantly better. And Herbert still managed to accomplish nothing.
Yeah, this playoff performance recently was definitely a backbreaker for some Herbert truthers. But he had this playoff performance against the Texans was probably one of the worst playoff performances I've ever seen, honestly.
Yeah, and not to mention in years past, Herbert has had a great receiving core. He's had Keenan Allen and Mike Williams when Mike Williams was decent, and Austin Eckler, and he didn't get it done. But all right, I'm fired up. That's gonna do it. We're gonna go to commercial break. Stay tuned. Jake's Hot Takes, WGNY 94.5 1220. Gotta go.
Thinking about remodeling your kitchen or bath? Wayne's Way Wholesale Cabinets has a great selection of all wood cabinets in the styles and colors to make your remodeling dreams come to life. Go to wayneswaycabinets.com for more info. Wayne's Way Cabinets, 1829 South Road, Wappingers Falls. Call 845-280-0880. Stop by and talk to Wayne today. You'll be glad you did. CDS Auto and Truck Repair is your 5-star one-stop shop for all your vehicle's needs from A to Z, offering full vehicle diagnostics. Towing is available, and they now offer fleet service. CDS Auto and Truck Repair. Call 845-563-9987. That's 845-563-9987. CDS Auto and Truck Repair, 2917 Route 9W, New Windsor.
Storage Boss Self-Storage is a temperature-controlled facility in New Windsor. Demands for storage tend to be driven by many life changes. Box, organize, save, simplify. Servicing business, organizations, military, and residential customers. Convenient, economical, and clean. Military, veteran, public safety, local business, and senior discounts offered. Call 845-562-BOOK or 845-562-2665 to reserve your unit today.
Need a new oven? Then the place to go is Michael's Appliance Center. They are committed to providing excellent value and service. Whether you need a stove, washer and dryer, or refrigerator, they offer a multitude of products in every price range. Customers at Michael's Appliance Center receive exceptional guidance and support from their highly trained, knowledgeable sales staff. Shop for appliances ranging from dishwashers to outdoor grills. Visit Michael's Appliance Center, 585 Main Street in Middletown, or go online to michaelsappliance.com.
Jake's Hot Takes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We were talking about Joe Burrow not too long ago, Matt. Do you remember that? You should.
Yeah, it was like 2 minutes ago.
It was like 2 minutes ago. So, Joe Burrow won Comeback Player of the Year, as I mentioned earlier, again, which, I don't know about you, I think it's completely ridiculous.
I don't. I mean, in terms of the definition of the award, he definitely deserves it.
But he's already gotten a Comeback Player of the Year award.
Yeah, but it doesn't change things. It still means he had the best comeback, is what it means. He had a pretty awful arm injury last year.
Sure.
That inhibited his ability to even lift a football. And he proceeded to have probably the best passing season of his entire career.
Sure, but I think that this Comeback Player of the Year is a statement to his first Comeback Player of the Year to say it was never really a comeback in the first place because he got hurt again.
Yeah.
He didn't come back. He was just here. He left, and then he was here for a little bit, and then he left again, and then he came back again, so we're going to give him another Comeback Player of the Year. It just doesn't make sense to me.
But he did come back.
It feels
in
like
stunning fashion.
Comeback Player of the Year should be like a one per person thing, you know? It shouldn't, I don't think Comeback Player of the Year should necessarily be about highlighting who had the best season after they got hurt. It should be highlighting a guy who actually came back, a guy that was disrespected and talked down upon in the media and in the general NFL discourse who actually came back and managed to make something of themselves and their team. I'm talking about Sam Darnold, baby.
So you think Sam Darnold should get the Geno Smith treatment a couple years ago? He won
Yeah.
comeback player of the year.
Yes.
Joe Flacco won comeback player of the
And
year.
it's not
over
even
DeMar
like,
Hamlin.
it's not even like injury can be related to it. At this point, comeback player of the year is that kind of award for a guy that brought his career back, because DeMar Hamlin literally went into cardiac arrest on the field, and he still didn't get comeback player of the year. He literally came back from the dead, and he didn't get a comeback player of the year award. And I'm supposed to cry tears of sympathy for Joe Burrow when he hurts his arm and gets comeback player of the year.
Yes.
It should have been Darnold.
But I get what you're saying. I understand the argument. But in the definition of how the award works in the NFL, who qualifies for it, who should get it, there really was no other answer but Burrow this year in terms of the award. Now, if the award was something like most improved player, like in the NBA, then yeah, I definitely think Darnold would get it. But this is comeback player of the year, the player that dealt with the most adversity and then came back and played well. I don't really think that sucking for a couple of years warrants a comeback in the definition of the award.
But it was a comeback, though, and the NFL has proven, regardless of the written word, they have proven through precedent over and over again that a comeback of a player being a bad for a little while and then revitalizing a team and revitalizing their career is more worthy of a comeback player of the year than a comeback from an injury.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, DeMar Hamlin went into cardiac arrest, and that doesn't get you a comeback player of the year award. I can't help but imagine that the only reason Joe Burrow got that award is because the NFL wanted him up on that stage with that suit vest on with no shirt underneath, because he did look good. I can't lie.
So the thing about DeMar Hamlin's case is that, yes, DeMar Hamlin died on the field and then came back to play. That's a good comeback, but he was mid after he came back, is really the truth about it. DeMar Hamlin isn't that good of a player. He was actually kind of decent this year, the best year of his career, but last year he really wasn't that good. So I felt it made sense to give it to someone like Joe Flacco, who was sitting on his couch midway through the season and then played great for the Browns towards the end of the year. I don't really think that Sam Darnold played himself into the category of getting it over someone like Burrow, who suffered a pretty terrible arm injury and then led the league in passing statistics.
Sure, but again, with the precedent, I'm going completely off of precedent. I'm talking previous comeback players of the year. There have been plenty of comeback players of the year who have gotten really horrible injuries and won comeback player of the year just by being able to come back. Look at Alex Smith. Alex Smith wasn't good after that leg injury. He wasn't a great quarterback. He was kind of in the same wave as DeMar Hamlin, where he could do pretty much exactly what you needed him to do at the moment, but he would not do more and he would not do less. And sometimes he wouldn't even accomplish the goal. He was great. I love him, but I mean, he was a comeback player of the year because it didn't even matter that he was bad. He was back on the field.
See, that is a good point. I haven't thought about it like that. But also, I think that comeback player of the year is just a type of an award that favors quarterbacks at the end of the day.
And it's inconsistent, too. That's something that's just been consistent across all the comeback players of the year. It's inconsistent what the actual criteria to win the award is.
It's true. Would you like to see something like the NBA where they do most improved player and then comeback player of the year?
Yeah, I would actually love to see it both. I think give most improved player to guys like Darnold or Geno Smith, guys that were the most improved, and then give comeback strictly for guys who came back from injury, Yeah. We could see probably Aiden Hutchinson win comeback player of the year next year.
He probably will.
He probably will. He probably will, because, that dude is a stud.
Yeah.
Jeez. Can't believe the Jaguars took Trayvon Walker over him.
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there.
That is neither here nor there.
Do you think that the introduction of an award like that, like most improved player, would kind of muddy the value of the comeback player of the year?
No, definitely not.
Because at this point, it's not that valued of an award.
No, it's not. It's not. Which is, honestly, I think it is quite funny that we're both so passionate on either side of this discussion, because the comeback player of the year award does not, it's not like someone's legacy is made.
Yeah.
Like Cam Newton's legacy was made by his MVP. It's not like Joe Burrow's legacy is made by his comeback player of the year.
Let me ask you something. What is more valuable to a resume? 2 comeback players of the year or 7 straight Walter Payton Man of the Year awards.
Oh, 7 straight Walter Payton Man of the Year awards.
Like they were just that good of a guy.
Yeah, if you're that good of a guy, you'll be able to get into the Hall of Fame off being that good of a guy alone. You don't even need to have that.
How many
on-field
straight years do you have to win that award to make it to the Hall of Fame?
I think if you can manage to win Walter Payton Man of the Year award for 10 straight years, it should be an instant ticket to the Hall of Fame.
It's true. Like, you're just that good of a guy and you still play football.
Yeah. Clearly this guy's, like, doing more for society than, like, everyone else combined at this point, if he manages to win 10 Walter Payton Man of the Year awards. A lot of awards were doled out over the course of the other night. A few big ones that I actually called. I don't mean to brag, but I went almost perfect on all of my
you did.
on all my NFL
did pretty
honors.
well. I can't lie.
I've been doing this job for about 3 months now, and I have finally just like nailed a set of picks, and I feel pretty good about it.
The one I'm most surprised about, and honestly I'm happy about it, is the Patrick Surtain, the second winning the Defensive Player of the Year.
PS2.
It's
PS2.
definitely deserved.
Yeah, I thought he played phenomenally this year, and I'm so glad that the NFL finally took a break from praising Myles Garrett and TJ Watt and whoever else, I don't know, the Bosa brothers or something like that. I'm glad that the NFL got away from the guys on the front line and finally gave some love to a guy who really did do a phenomenal job in locking down a lot of the really prominent wide receiver talent that he faced throughout the season.
I mean, the wide receiver ones that went against Patrick Surtain just were taken out of the game, basically.
Yeah, I watched Devontae Adams get wrecked by Pat Surtain in Denver's first meeting with Vegas. It was just, it was a phenomenal game. It wasn't a phenomenal game. It was phenomenal play out of Pat Surtain.
Yeah.
It seems like whoever they put him up against, he just manages to clamp them down and remove them from the game. And like I said in the last episode when we were talking about our predictions, that kind of ability to shut out a star player really messes with team chemistry.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that can win a game.
And Patrick Surtain was the best, by far the best player on one of the best defenses in the league this year. So it definitely means something. They would not have been as good of a defense as they were without Patrick Surtain. So Defensive Player of the Year, it's very deserved. I didn't quite think he had the stats to do it, though. I'm very surprised that they went with Pat Surtain, honestly.
Yeah, but this is a year where it's been very strange. It's like league-wide production has been kind of down.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, we saw Trey Hendrickson put up, how many sacks? 14 sacks this season?
He led the league by like 3 sacks.
Yeah, and this is a 14 sacks or even... Yeah, I think it was 14 sacks.
I don't remember.
I think it was 14 sacks he put up this season. That was what Aaron Donald put up in one of his Defensive Player of the Year seasons, and he was an interior defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Like, we're not seeing crazy seasons really out of any players at any position. We're not seeing all-time quarterback seasons. We're not seeing... The only all-time specific season we had this year was an all-time quarterback season, the greatest quarterback season of all time. Let's talk about JD.
Yeah, I was just going to say Jaden Daniels definitely deserves it. No one else deserves it over him.
Yeah.
And, like, I know that the award is based off of the regular season, and I guess by that logic you can have an argument for Bowers.
I don't think you can anymore.
Not anymore. Especially after what we saw in the playoffs. It would just be, like, a lunatic would give it to anyone else.
I changed my tune a little bit when it came to Brock Bowers. I really was a believer in giving it to the big man, but I mean, the way that Jaden Daniels finished out the season, just unbelievable.
Generational.
Unbelievable. If I was a Washington fan, you would catch me dancing in the rain right now.
He's a generational talent is what it is, and it's shocking. It honestly is. I did not expect this at all from Washington.
And he's gonna be leading that team. You got Washington fans celebrate. You got like 12 years of Jaden Daniels.
Hopefully.
At least like him being on the team. He might not be great for all of those 12 seasons, being a mobile quarterback and whatnot, but
yeah,
you got like 12 years of Jaden Daniels, so I think that's something to celebrate.
Are you happy with the Saquon pick for Opoy?
No, actually, I think it should have
Really?
gone. No, I think it should have gone to Demarcus Robinson. No, of course it should have gone to Saquon. What are we talking about here?
I would have liked to see it go to Chase.
No, you wouldn't have.
I would have liked to see it, but I understand it. You can't give it to anyone else. Honestly.
This Triple Crown season has not been Jamar Chase was better than everybody else. It was everybody else was worse than Jamar Chase this season.
I guess that argument could be made, but I don't know. I just feel like anyone, like any decent running back, could have a great season behind that Eagles offensive line.
And any great wide receiver could have a great season with Joe Burrow throwing the ball.
I don't think that's true.
I do think that is true.
Yeah.
That's why T. Higgins is going to trick a team into, signing him for 4 years and giving him a ton of money, and then he's going to be terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, Jamar Chase, he had like over 800 yards after catch. Not any receiver in the league is doing that.
Yeah, but yards after catch. We talk about yards after catch like it's this exclusively wide receiver stat. Quarterback throws absolutely do play an impact on yards after catch. If a quarterback can hit their player in stride and put the ball in the right windows and find them in the right places, it makes a yards after catch play so much easier than if a quarterback makes a throw where a wide receiver needs to change their body position or reach in the opposite direction or just do any sort of unnatural movement.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel the Saquon pick, though.
Yeah, all right. We're going to have to go to commercial break. We'll be back soon. Jake's Hot Takes, WGNY.
Thinking about remodeling your kitchen or bath? Wayne's Way Wholesale Cabinets has a great selection of all wood cabinets in the styles and colors to make your remodeling dreams come to life. Go to wayneswaycabinets.com for more info. Wayne's Way Cabinets, 1829 South Road, Wappingers Falls. Call 845-280-0880. Stop by and talk to Wayne today. You'll be glad you did. CDS Auto and Truck Repair is your 5-star one-stop shop for all your vehicle's needs from A to Z, offering full vehicle diagnostics. Towing is available, and they now offer fleet service. CDS Auto and Truck Repair. Call 845-563-9987. That's 845-563-9987. CDS Auto and Truck Repair, 2917 Route 9W, New Windsor.
Storage Boss Self-Storage is a temperature-controlled facility in New Windsor. Demands for storage tend to be driven by many life changes. Box, organize, save, simplify. Servicing business, organizations, military, and residential customers. Convenient, economical, and clean. Military, veteran, public safety, local business, and senior discounts offered. Call 845-562-BOOK or 845-562-2665 to reserve your unit today.
Need a new oven? Then the place to go is Michael's Appliance Center. They are committed to providing excellent value and service. Whether you need a stove, washer and dryer, or refrigerator, they offer a multitude of products in every price range. Customers at Michael's Appliance Center receive exceptional guidance and support from their highly trained, knowledgeable sales staff. Shop for appliances ranging from dishwashers to outdoor grills. Visit Michael's Appliance Center, 585 Main Street in Middletown, or go online to michaelsappliance.com.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Jake's Hot Takes. Now, I know we're all excited for the Super Bowl, but just like the media, we're going to pivot and talk about the NBA for a little bit, because the NBA has just been stealing the show from the NFL during this Super Bowl week.
I mean, it's been an absolute movie, this trade deadline for the
seriously.
NBA, really. I mean, a lot of mind-blowing trades. We talked about Luka last week, but a lot has happened since then.
Yeah, a lot has happened. Matt, why don't you tell me a little bit about Jimmy Butler, because I heard he's on the move.
Jimmy Butler, yes, he's on the move to the Golden State Warriors.
Wow.
And honestly, I really like this move for the Warriors. I really do. Yeah,
really?
I do.
Really? I don't at all.
Well, they didn't have to give up anything for him, really. The biggest piece they gave up was Andrew Wiggins. The trade was Jimmy Butler to the Warriors for Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Anderson, and a protected first-round pick. So I don't think the Heat really got what they wanted, because this whole situation with Jimmy towards the end of his Heat tenure has really just plummeted any trade value.
Yeah, it's definitely soured the pot a little bit.
Yeah. But giving up Wiggins, 2 role players, and then a first-round pick for Jimmy Butler, a guy who can be a very good offensive engine in the playoffs, who can team up well with Curry, I think it's a good move for the Warriors at the price they paid.
Do you think this is a sign that the Warriors are going to blow everything up soon when it comes to Steph and Draymond? Do you think this is like their last dance? This is their last shot at a championship?
No. I think I don't think the Golden State Warriors are going to trade Curry. They're going to let him retire as a Warrior.
Oh yeah, of course.
And what I see this move as, trading for Jimmy Butler, is let's go be competitive for the last 5 years of Curry. Really what it is.
I don't even think we're going to see 5 more years of competitive Curry and Draymond and Jimmy. I think realistically, we're going to see Draymond is going this offseason, I think.
You think
Draymond is, when Draymond was performing very well and Golden State was playing very winning basketball, Draymond's issues, we could just sweep Draymond's issues under the rug and say, oh, it's Draymond, the team is winning, let's just keep the ball rolling, let's not ruffle any feathers. But now the team is losing, and they don't look so good, and Draymond is continuing his antics. Yeah. And it's like Draymond getting fired up and causing problems. Sometimes it would get the team fired up too, but now it just seems like everyone in that building is sick of him. Draymond is throwing fits on the court and screaming at Steve Kerr, and I just look at this Warriors team and I just think you just gotta full send it. The Warriors have never been able to commit to developing young talent. They've always wanted it to be about Steph and Clay and Draymond, and I think that it has done some severe damage. They traded a lot of young guys for another aging superstar, and I think it's going to turn out about as well as last season when they had Clay on the roster.
Yeah, but I really don't think that the price they gave up was that big. I mean, seeing Andrew Wiggins go is a bit of a bummer. He was huge to that 2022 Golden State Warriors champion team. I mean, he basically took Curry. He basically took Tatum out of that game entirely. He's a great defensive player, and I think the Heat will benefit from having him. But Dennis Schroeder and Kyle Anderson just does not move the ball for me for getting those assets back for trading Jimmy Butler, who has been one of the best players. Do you think he's a top 10 Heat player ever?
Top 10 Heat player ever?
I mean, he leads the Heat franchise in a lot of playoff categories. I mean, he took them to the championship in 2020 in the bubble, and he took them to the championship in 2023 against the Nuggets.
Yeah, I'm actually with that. I'm with Jimmy as a top 10 Heat all time. But pivoting back to the Warriors real quick, I'm not saying that they got fleeced for Jimmy Butler, because honestly, I think for what they gave up, I think it was a pretty fairly balanced trade. I just think that it's indicative of the problem that the Warriors are having right now, and that's that they're not developing the young talent. It's like you're in a situation right now where a bunch of crazy moves are being made, and all you can think of is going out and getting another aging superstar. They have no interest in developing the younger guys. They have no interest in a post-Curry basketball world. And once Curry retires, this team is going to fall apart because they haven't expended they've expended all of their resources into keeping Steph and Draymond around for as long as possible instead of planning on the future, like what the Lakers did. The Lakers are planning for the future right now, and we're going to talk about them in a couple minutes too, but they are making the moves right now for a post-LeBron world, and I just don't see Golden State making the moves for a post-Steph Curry world.
Yeah, I think it's a bit hard to compare the moves of the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors in this case, because it's clear that LeBron is probably playing maybe one more year, while Curry is probably going to play 5 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, though, I don't see Curry being the best player on a championship team after, let's say, 2 or 3 more seasons, realistically.
You think so?
Yeah, they're going to need to, if the Warriors really want to get Curry another chip, they either got to do it this season or they need to trade for another really high-caliber guy that can take some of the pressure off of Curry's hands. Because recently, Curry being the best player on the Warriors does not look good.
You really don't think so?
It doesn't look like
I think I have a bit
basketball.
of faith in Curry. I mean, he's an all-time great. Where do you think Curry lies in the top 10, top 10 all time?
I think he's top 10. I think he's top 10. I think probably either 10, 9, or 8. I'm sure I could rework the list a little bit, stretch a few names here and there to get Curry up in that top 8. But realistically, I probably have him either at 9 or 10.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the Lakers a little bit ago, they also made a trade recently, didn't they?
Yeah, a pretty big one. They traded for Charlotte Hornets center Mark Williams. The big man is headed to LA for another big man, Dalton Knecht, Cam Reddish, a 2031 unprotected first round, and a 2030 pick swap. Mark Williams is... Honestly, I think he's a great acquisition for the Lakers. I think he's going to fill a huge obviously gaping hole in their team in the form of Anthony Davis, what he provides as a big man in terms of rebounding and defense. I think Mark Williams is actually going to be a pretty good fit for this team. I think he's going to look really good alongside Luka, and he's one of those guys where I feel like he's not getting the attention that he deserves. He's not getting the love that he deserves because Charlotte plays in such a small market and they barely get any media attention.
Yeah, I could see this being a good move for the Lakers down the road, and he has shown some defensive flashes before, but I just don't like them giving up Dalton Connect for this trade.
Dalton Connect. Here's the problem with Dalton Connect, is that Luka is a very high caliber guy. He needs the ball. He's a high volume guy.
Yeah.
He needs the ball in his hands a lot to be effective. A guy like Dalton Connect, from what I saw out of his play in his short time with the Lakers, he seemed to be kind of cut from that same cloth, where you need to be feeding him pretty consistently in order to get good production out of him. He was pretty all right on the defensive side of things, but when it came to his offense, he wasn't really a rebounding guy. He was a give me the ball, pass me the ball, and I'll make a play type of guy. And I just think there are too many mouths to feed on the Lakers right now, and that's why I think as much as it hurts to give up a rising young star like that, I think Mark Williams just fits the archetype of the team better.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like this move from the Hornets, they're full sending this build around LaMelo. That's what they're gonna play around for the next foreseeable future for the Hornets.
As they should.
What do you think this means for the Lakers? Do you think this means they're trying to compete for a title this year?
Yes, I think they're going all in. I think they are going to try and get LeBron his final ring, get Luka his first. This would be an all-timer in the story of the NBA. This would be an all-time season. Yeah, in the story of sports. If Luka managed to secure his first ring alongside LeBron, letting LeBron run off into the sunset with basically no argument that he's not the greatest player of all time anymore.
Hey, Jordan heads would still find a way.
Yeah, Jordan heads would still find a way. And listen, I got love for Michael Jordan, but if you don't think LeBron is the greatest of all time, I assume that you probably watched Jordan play and fell in love with him first. And look, that's perfectly okay. We're allowed to have opinions here. But my opinion is gospel here because my name is on the title. Wow, that makes me sound like I have such an ego. No. Okay. Basically, what I'm saying is I think this move is great for the Lakers. I think Mark Williams is going to get a chance to shine, and I think he's going to look real good out there.
You think so?
Yeah.
What do you think for the Hornets? Do you think this is a good acquisition too?
Yes and no. I think for Charlotte, young talent is a must, but at the same time, LaMelo and Connect would have the same kind of dynamic that Luka and Connect would have had.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yes, it's good to have another scoring guy on the court, but I just don't know. I don't know about the chemistry. I guess I'll just have to see it. I don't know. Connect is still such a young player, and there's still so much uncertainty about how his career is going to turn out. I don't know. I'm going to reserve judgment until I actually get to see them play together.
I mean, the Hornets are still in a rebuild. They have some young talent that has been injured, like Brandon Miller. I've had him on my fantasy. He's been out basically the whole year, dealing with some, I think it was an ankle injury that he's been dealing with. But obviously, the Hornets are not a team that they're going to compete for a title right now.
Yeah.
The Lakers, right now, they look to be a team that's going to compete for a title right now. And that's clearly, it looks like what they're trying to do. And I like this. I love these moves from the Lakers. I mean, they are one of the biggest franchises in the history of sports. Why not go out and do this and full send your rebuild right now? Blow it up a little early and blow it up at a point where you can still get great players and compete for a title.
Yeah, and I think across the history of sports teams, I think that the Lakers have made a phenomenal move. I think year in and year out, we see teams with aging superstars trying to hold on to their relevancy and compete with the old guys, and sometimes you just need to blow it up. Could you imagine the situation that we would be if 3 years before he retired, the Pittsburgh Steelers traded Big Ben for a big haul? Even though his play was falling off, the Steelers probably could have gotten a decent haul for Big Ben if they traded him before he really started falling off. But the Steelers wanted to cling to their franchise quarterback, And that's why they're kind of stuck in this middle ground right now. You see it all the time in football. You see it all the time in basketball, where a team just refuses to let their aging stars go, or they, go out of their way to get more aging stars. It's never been an effective strategy.
So, do you think let's say everything goes right, everyone stays healthy for this Lakers team? Do you think they have a chance to compete against teams like the Nuggets, the Thunder in the West, the really big teams?
No.
No?
Unfortunately, I don't. I think they're trying to, but I just have a little inkling in my head that if the Lakers see Jokic or they see Shea in the playoffs, it's just not going to turn out well for them.
I mean, the Lakers have basically been swept back-to-back years by the Nuggets.
It's tough. It's tough. But
Yeah.
I guess we'll just have to see how it turns out. When we get back, we're talking Super Bowl predictions. It's the last segment before the big game. I hope you stay tuned. We'll be right back. Jake's Hot Takes.
Thinking about remodeling your kitchen or bath? Wayne's Way Wholesale Cabinets has a great selection of all wood cabinets in the styles and colors to make your remodeling dreams come to life. Go to wayneswaycabinets.com for more info. Wayne's Way Cabinets, 1829 South Road, Wappingers Falls. Call 845-280-0880. Stop by and talk to Wayne today. You'll be glad you did. CDS Auto and Truck Repair is your 5-star one-stop shop for all your vehicle's needs from A to Z, offering full vehicle diagnostics. Towing is available, and they now offer fleet service. CDS Auto and Truck Repair. Call 845-563-9987. That's 845-563-9987. CDS Auto and Truck Repair, 2917 Route 9W, New Windsor.
Storage Boss Self-Storage is a temperature-controlled facility in New Windsor. Demands for storage tend to be driven by many life changes. Box, organize, save, simplify. Servicing business, organizations, military, and residential customers. Convenient, economical, and clean. Military, veteran, public safety, local business, and senior discounts offered. Call 845-562-BOOK or 845-562-2665 to reserve your unit today.
Need a new oven? Then the place to go is Michael's Appliance Center. They are committed to providing excellent value and service. Whether you need a stove, washer and dryer, or refrigerator, they offer a multitude of products in every price range. Customers at Michael's Appliance Center receive exceptional guidance and support from their highly trained, knowledgeable sales staff. Shop for appliances ranging from dishwashers to outdoor grills. Visit Michael's Appliance Center, 585 Main Street in Middletown, or go online to michaelsappliance.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, my stomach is in knots. My palms are sweaty, my knees are weak, my arms are heavy. I feel sick to my stomach as a Chiefs fan coming into this game. And it's just the nerves, all right? I'm not even on the field, and I feel nervous. I can't imagine what the players are going through this week, or have been going through this week, and are what they're going through today. Because, geez, I'm a fan, and I feel nervous for this game.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, give me a hot take about this Super Bowl. I need a hot take here and there.
All right. I think the Eagles will take this one.
Oh,
honestly.
no, not that kind of, no.
I really do. I really
not
think
that
this
kind
is
of hot
happening.
take. No, not that kind of hot take. That's not what I want to hear.
This is a great Eagles team, top to bottom, is really what it is. And even in moments, I feel like Jalen Hurts' is passing ability, we talked about in the show before, is one of the weakest links of this team. He can step up in the big moments, and we've seen him do it before. And this Eagles team has a chip on their shoulder, and they have a running game asset in what they didn't have in the last Super Bowl. Their last running back core in the last Super Bowl was Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott. And unlucky for Boston Scott, the Giants were not in the Super Bowl that year. So having Saquon Barkley along with this offensive line that has continued to be great post Jason Kelce, I think the sky is the limit for this Eagles team. I really think they're going to take them home this year.
No, because here's the thing. The same way that Philadelphia has had a massive improvement to their running back core since the first Super Bowl meeting, Kansas City has had a monstrous increase in the quality of their wide receiver core. the wide receiver core that Kansas City has going into this game is so much better than the wide receiver core that they had going into the first Eagles Super Bowl that it makes me sad. It makes me sad that there were so many bums out on the field during a Super Bowl.
There were a couple bums on
during
the
a
field.
Super Bowl. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the obvious recent Chiefs bum because he actually did have a massive play, so I'm gonna respect him by not bringing up his name in this conversation. Kadarius Toney, of course, but Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Sky Moore.
Yeah, Sky Moore's a bum. Didn't he muff a punt in that Super Bowl, or am I thinking of a different thing?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. You're asking.
He
me
has
too many
muffed
questions.
a couple punts.
Yeah,
in his career.
he's not a great punt returner, but now we got this fresh new lineup of guys. We got Xavier Worthy, we got D Hop, we got Hollywood Brown. I love this Chiefs wide receiver core so much, and I'm actually gonna throw out a little mini hot take for you guys. I think we see Hollywood clock over 115 yards out of this game. I think we're going to see Hollywood have a monster game.
I really don't think so.
Ever since he came into this offense, Mahomes has looked phenomenal. It's like with every new wide receiver acquisition, Mahomes' play has increased significantly. He started out the season pretty rough. He didn't have a great touchdown-interception ratio. He wasn't putting up monster numbers. D-Hop came into the game. All of a sudden, the turnovers ended. But sometimes the offense would stall out. All of a sudden, Hollywood Brown gets there, boom, the offense barely ever stalls out now. It's like every piece that Mahomes has gotten has allowed him to take the offense to the next level. And I think this team's best-looking offense was in the last 3 weeks of the regular season and the last 2 playoff games that they played. This Chiefs offense just looks unstoppable. And I understand that the Philadelphia defense is really good, but this is going to be one of those games where good defense is simply not going to be enough.
Yes, but I also feel like the Philadelphia secondary is very good. They have very good safety play. They have very good corner play, honestly. But I also think that the safety core is probably one of the weakest cores for Kansas City in that respect. I would say the safety core and part like the passing protection of the linebacker core is probably the weakest link of either of these defenses, I would say.
Yeah, the thing that I'll say is that the safeties are great in the run, and the linebackers are also great in the run. Chamari Connor and Justin Reed can come downhill, and they can lay big hits. They can punish guys for floating around in the middle of the field and playing a little loose and playing a little reckless. They can come in and they can lay a hit, and I think that goes a long way, but also I don't think it's enough to win a game. I think pass coverage is going to be a big thing. McDuffie is going to have to be on his A game because mistakes are going to happen, naturally. This is A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert we're talking about. This is one of, if not the best receiving core in the entire NFL. Mistakes are going to happen. Plays are going to be blown. I think just what needs to happen is McDuffie and Jalen Watson just need to take care of their business. And I think the rest of the defense will be able to hold off. Joshua Williams, he's not great, but he's not good, but he can make a play here and there.
And the Chiefs' defensive backs, they're not necessarily known for having the best hands or ball ability.
No, and they shouldn't be. They're terrible at ball hawk. They're terrible at being a ball hawk.
Yeah, I've watched them drop so many interceptions in the past, and I feel like they will give Hurts some breaks in that notion.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that Hurts will be able to throw the ball around a little recklessly just because, these guys are heavy. They're heavy hitters, but they're not ball hawks. And I think that kind of archetype you don't really see that archetype across a defense, across the NFL, you know? There aren't a lot of defenses that have really heavy-hitting safeties that can't really go up for contested catches and contested interceptions and things like that. The guy that I think of the most when I think of a guy that isn't a great ball hawk but can lay a hit is Derwin James.
Yeah.
But that's only one player across that entire Chargers secondary, which there are not a lot of heavy hitters on that Chargers secondary other than Derwin James.
The thing about the Chiefs defense is that as a whole, they're a great unit. Their blitzes are probably some of the best in the NFL. Lethal blitz.
Blitzes.
But I feel like there are just a lot of defensive players on Kansas City's end that I feel like they have one big weakness, and I feel like there's a lot of players in like I feel like Justin Reed, he's good in coverage, but he can't tackle.
He can't tackle.
You think he can tackle?
No, I actually think tackling is a strong suit. I'm gonna correct you on that.
Yeah.
Maybe you're looking at the wrong guy, but Reed can tackle. He's a good tackler. Yeah. I think he struggles against fast wide receivers. He's a big body. He's very large, large, imposing guy. I think against a guy like Devonta Smith, he would actually struggle to cover him. He'd have no problem bringing him down, but he would struggle to cover him.
Well, Devonta Smith is like 60 pounds. That's not very hard to do.
It's like a wet napkin. It's like knocking over a wet napkin.
But speaking of Devonta Smith, I think Devonta Smith will have over 100 yards in this game, and he'll have more than A.J. Brown.
So you call me crazy for saying that Hollywood's going to put up 115, but then you go and say that Smitty's going to put up 100?
No, I don't think that Hollywood Brown's going to go. I think Hollywood Brown's impact in this game will be more off the ball than anything else. Hollywood's biggest impact on this Chiefs team has been the ability to separate these Chiefs receivers apart from each other, because Hollywood is a pretty important target for teams to cover. I feel like Hollywood is very useful. I said this in the last episode. I feel like Hollywood is most useful for getting guys like Worthy open for a quick screen pass that can go for like 6 or 7 yards.
I could see that, but at the same time, Hollywood is great in the middle of the field, and I think that is one of the main regions that Philadelphia has really struggled with across the entire season. So don't be surprised if you see Hollywood taking some big yaks.
All right, I have a question for you. As a Chiefs fan, Give me one obscure touchdown scorer for this game. Who do you think has a chance? One obscure Chiefs player that has a chance to get a touchdown.
That is a phenomenal question. Okay, so in the receiving department, there's a couple more so obscure guys that I love to go to. I think Noah Gray has a great shot at scoring a touchdown. Yeah. The backup tight end will be the TE1 once Kelsey retires, but I'm not talking about that just yet. In the running game, I would love to see a young guy like Carson Steele get out there. He has not been good, but
at all.
I think it would just be pretty funny if he scored a touchdown. It would kind of be like the Sky Moore touchdown, where everybody's like, yeah, he's not good at all, but he definitely scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Maybe McCole Hardman, he scored the game-winning last time.
Oh, my God, are you kidding me? I would love for McCole Hardman to score a touchdown during this game, but he's out for the season.
Oh, I forgot that McCole Hardman was not playing.
Yeah, McCole Hardman's not playing. He's hurt. It's unfortunate. It makes me sad. It makes me cry. That's why we got Nico Remigio out there.
Oh, okay.
Nico Remigio, that's a guy that I would love to see score a touchdown. He's young and feisty. He's good.
Some obscure touchdown scorers for the Eagles. I feel like I would put money on a Grant Calcaterra touchdown.
Wow, I don't even know who that is.
The backup tight end for the Eagles.
Wow.
Grant Calcaterra, he stepped up a little bit when Goddard was injured, and he actually played kind of decent. Grant Calcaterra, Jahan Dotson. I feel like Jahan Dotson has a chance.
Hold on, back to Grant Calcaterra. Matt, I am so serious. I'm breaking the wall right now.
Yeah.
If Grant Calcaterra actually scores a Super Bowl touchdown tonight, I will pay you $10.
Yeah?
I'm serious.
All right, bet.
I will pay you $10.
If Carson Steele scores one, I'll pay you $10.
All right, yeah, it's a bet. It's a deal.
All right, so obscure touchdown scorers, Grant Calcaterra, Jahan Dotson. Let me think of one other. Let's go for Will Shipley.
Wow, you did your research on this one, man.
Yeah.
Wow, that is absurd. But anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of Jake's Hot Takes. Make sure you tune into the Super Bowl tonight. It's going to be huge. We'll talk about it on Thursday at noon. Make sure you tune in. We love you all for listening, and enjoy the bowl tonight. Let's go, Chiefs. Let's bring it home. Let's get the three-peat, baby. Jake's Hot Takes.
Thinking about remodeling your kitchen or bath? Wayne's Way Wholesale Cabinets has a great selection of all wood cabinets in the styles and colors to make your remodeling dreams come to life. Go to wayneswaycabinets.com for more info. Wayne's Way Cabinets, 1829 South Road, Wappingers Falls. Call 845-280-0880. Stop by and talk to Wayne today. You'll be glad you did. CDS Auto and Truck Repair is your 5-star one-stop shop for all your vehicle's needs from A to Z, offering full vehicle diagnostic. Towing is available, and they now offer fleet service. CDS Auto and Truck Repair. Call 845-563 845-563-9987. That's 845-563-9987. CDS Auto and Truck Repair, 2917 Route 9W, New Windsor.
Storage Boss Self-Storage is a temperature-controlled facility in New Windsor. Demands for storage tend to be driven by many life changes. Box, organize, save, simplify. Servicing business, organizations, military, and residential customers. Convenient, economical, and clean. Military, veteran, public safety, local business, and senior discounts offered. Call 845-562-BOOK or 845-562-2665 to reserve your unit today.
Need a new oven? Then the place to go is Michael's Appliance Center. They are committed to providing excellent value and service. Whether you need a stove, washer and dryer, or refrigerator, they offer a multitude of products in every price range. Customers at Michael's Appliance Center receive exceptional guidance and support from their highly trained, knowledgeable sales staff. Shop for appliances ranging from dishwashers to outdoor grills. Visit Michael's Appliance Center, 585 Main Street in Middletown, or go online to michaelsappliance.com.